stress transformation. So first, i-discuss muna natin kung ano ang isang stress element. So when a body is loaded by normal and shear stresses, we can consider any point in that body as a stress element. So ito yun, yung stress element natin. Denote tau xy and tau yx. And then, the most general state of stress at a point may be component. So ito nga yun, no? So sigma x, sigma y, sigma z are normal stresses. And tau xy, tau yz, and tau zx are shearing stresses. So take note lang natin na ang tau xy is equal to tau yx, tau yz is equal to tau zy, and tau zx is equal to tau xz. So dito, no, yung example natin is 2D element, kaya wala tayong Z element natin dito. So magiging focus lang natin, no, for our subject is yung mga 2D elements lang. So discuss natin ano ba ang plane stress. So plane stress is a state of stress in which two faces of the cubic element are free of stress. For the illustrated example, the state of stress is defined by sigma x, sigma y, tau xy, and sigma z equals to tau zx is equals to tau zy is equal to 0. Next naman natin, no, from stress element is gumagamit tayo ng stress transformation equation. So the stress transformation is a way to describe the effect of combined loading on a stress element at any radiation. And para ma-derive ito is gumamit tayo ng geometry and equilibrium conditions. So kung gusto nyo i-check yung derivation ng formula, is pwede tayo mag-refer doon sa reference book natin and sa learning module. So ano yung mga formulas natin dito? So yung sigma x prime natin is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y over 2 times cosine 2 theta plus tau xy sine times 2 theta. And then sigma y prime naman natin is quantity of sigma x plus sigma y over 2 minus quantity sigma x minus sigma y times cosine 2 theta over 2 and minus tau xy sine 2 theta. And then yung tau xy prime naman natin is equals to negative theta x minus, negative sigma x minus sigma y over 2 sine 2 theta plus tau xy cos 2 theta. So, saan natin kukunin yung sigma x, sigma y, and tau xy dyan? So, dito natin siya kukunin, no, sa figure natin. So, yung sigma x natin is ito siya, no? Nag-a-act siya doon sa x phase. And kapag nag-a-act naman sa y phase natin, ito yung sigma y. Paano naman ang sign convention natin pagdating sa shear stress natin? So, ang sign convention natin, no, sa shear stress, pagdating dito sa stress transformation, is counterclockwise positive. So, kapag niro-rotate yung stress element natin, for this example, is tau xy, niro-rotate niya yung element natin ng counterclockwise, ito is positive. And kapag naman niro-rotate niya ito ng clockwise, ito naman ay negative. So, para mas maintindihan ninyo, i-apply natin ito dito sa example. So the state of plane stress at a point is represented on the elements shown in the figure. Determine the state of stress at this point on another element oriented 30 degrees clockwise from the position shown. So ito yung given natin stress element. So syempre first step, given, required, and then yung diagram. So no, for this type of example, no, kailangan nyo lang i-redraw itong stress element natin. So, given tayo ng tau x or sigma x na negative 80 megapascal. Again, kaya negative kasi ito ay compression. Sigma y is equal to 50 megapascal. So, kaya naman positive kasi ito ay tensile. Ang tau xy natin is negative 25. So, bakit negative 25? Kasi nga, di ba ito ang tendency natin is niro-rotate natin ito in clockwise direction, whereas sa stress element is clockwise negative tayo. So next naman, yung theta natin is 30 degrees. So negative din siya kasi ang linear sign convention natin dito is clockwise negative. Kasi given naman dito na clockwise orientation. So ano yung hinahanap? So yung transformation natin na denoted ng sigma x prime, sigma y prime, and tau x y prime. So direct substitution lang ito doon sa formula natin. So again, ito yung formula natin. Sigma x prime is equals to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 times cosine 2 theta plus tau xy sine 2 theta. And then, input lang natin dito no, sa problem natin yung mga given parameters natin. So kung gusto nyo i-check na yung dimensional analysis, so matitira na unit sa atin dito ay megapascal lang naman. So ang magiging final answer natin dito is for sigma x prime is negative 25.84936 megapascal. So again, answers natin ipakita nyo up to 5 decimal places. So next, proceed tayo sa sigma y prime. So sigma y prime, yung formula natin, ipakita nyo lang din. And then ipakita nyo rin yung substitution ng mga parameters natin. And directly inputting it in your calculator, ang makukuha natin sagot is negative 4.15064 megapascal. And lastly, tau xy prime, yung tau xy prime natin is negative sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 times sine 2 theta plus tau xy cosine 2 theta. So substituting the given and directly inputting it in your calculator, ang makukuha natin sagot is negative 68.79165 megapascal. After natin makuha yung mga sagot, so kailangan natin ipakita yung naging transformation sa stress element natin. And then, i-drawing nyo lang yung stress element and i-label nyo ito. So again, since puro negative yung nakuha natin forces, gagaya ng kanina rin sa sigma x, negative 25.8 megapascal, so ito ay compression. And sigma y natin, so sigma y prime is negative 4.15 megapascal. So pababa naman ito, so negative din, kaya ito ay compression. And then ang nakuha natin tau xy prime ay negative din. Kaya ang nangyari dito is pababa naman siya. Kasi sabi nga natin kanina, kapag niro-rotate ang orientation natin, no, pagdating dito sa stress element is counterclockwise positive. Okay, so next topic natin is principal stresses and maximum shear stress. So sabi dito, if material failure is what we ultimately care about, then we really want to know what are the maximum and minimum normal stresses and maximum shear stress. Kasi dito, no, with regards to detecting or predicting failure, is magagamit natin dito yung principal stress. Kasi nga, ang principal stresses natin is yung maximum and minimum stress. So, di ba ito nga, sinabi dito, they are the maximum and minimum normal stresses. And it occurs when the stress element is located such that shear stress is zero. So the equation for this can be found from the stress transformation equation by differentiation of d theta divided by d sigma divided by d theta is equal to 0 and some algebraic manipulation. So these two values with sigma 1 greater than or less than sigma 2 are called the in-plane principal stress. And the corresponding planes on which they act are called the principal planes of stress. Take note that no shear stress acts on this principal plane. So ano ba yung positive or yung maximum stress natin dito? So ang maximum natin is yung sigma 1 and then yung minimum natin is denoted by sigma 2. Okay, so next naman dito is pinakita lang yung derivation ng mga formulas natin. So gaya nga ng sinabi kanina, di ba, i-equate natin no, yung sigma equations natin with respect to theta is equal to 0. So dito na makikita lang, dinetermine na ang theta natin is equal to sa theta sub p or yung principal angle natin. So solving no, for principal angle natin, ito yung makukuha natin formula. So tan 2 theta sub p is equal to tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y over 2. So the solution daw na makuha natin dito ay merong two roots. So theta p1 and theta p2. Specifically, the values of 2 theta p1 and 2 theta p2 are 180 degrees apart. So theta p1 and theta p2 will be 90 degrees apart. Substituting this angle into the stress transformation equation, for sigma x1, we obtain the root of sigma 1 and sigma 2. So again, ang sigma 1 and sigma 2 natin is yung principal stress natin. So sigma 1 plus sigma 2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus minus the square root of quantity sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. So yung sigma 1 natin kapag ito is positive and kapag negative naman is sigma 2. And paano naman kapag maximum in plane shear stress? So the orientation of element that is subjected to maximum shear stress can be determined by taking the derivative of shear stress transformation for tau x prime y prime with respect to u and setting the result equal to 0. So makukuha natin ditong formula is tan 2 theta s or theta sub s is equal to negative theta x minus theta y over 2 divided by tau xy. So the two root of this equation, so theta s1 and theta s2, can be determined from the shaded triangle shown in the figure. So ito yung figure na sinasabi dito. So since tan 2 theta s is the negative reciprocal of tan 2 theta p, then each root 2 theta s is 90 degrees from 2 theta p. And the roots theta s and theta p are 45 degrees apart. Therefore, the element subjected to maximum shear stresses must be oriented 45 degrees from the position of an element that is subjected to principal stress. So the maximum shear stress is given by the formula square root of quantity sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. So here, the tau max in plane is referred to as the maximum in plane shear stress because it acts on the element in the xy plane. The average normal stress on the plane of maximum in plane shear stress is, so sigma average natin is sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2. And then ito yung magiging denotation natin pagdating sa diagram. For this slide, no, pinakita lang dito yung summary of formulas natin. So average stress natin is sigma x plus sigma y over 2. Orientation of principal plane is tan 2 theta p equal to tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y over 2. Principal stress naman natin is sigma x plus sigma y over 2 plus minus square root of tau x, sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. Maximum shear stress natin is tau max equals to square root of sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. And ang orientation naman na maximum shear stress natin is given ng formula na tan 2 theta s is equal to negative sigma x minus sigma y over 2 divided by tau xy. So dito no, kung papansin nyo, yung principal stress natin is combination lang sa yung formula ng tau max and then yung average stress natin. Kasi ito, di ba, ito yung first part natin dito is galing ito yung sa formula na to. And then ito naman, second part ng formula natin is itong formula na ito. So para mas maintindihan natin, no, i-apply natin ito sa sample. So for the state of NC, sigma x 50 megapascal, sigma y is going papunta sa dun sa element natin, negative. And then since ang object natin, yung tau force natin, may tendency no, to rotate the object clockwise kasi ito ay positive. So tau xy natin is 40 megapascal. And ano yung required sa atin? Ang hinahanap is yung theta sub t, sigma 1, sigma 2, tau max, and yung average stress natin. So again, direct substitution lang ito no, doon sa mga formulas natin. So tan 2 theta p is equal to tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y over 2. Substitute lang natin yung mga given. So makukuha natin no, na 2 theta p natin is 53 degrees, 53.13 and 233.13. So again, para makuha itong pangalawa, no, mag-add lang tayo ng 180. Sabi dun sa relationship sa previous slide. So solving for theta p, i-divide lang natin ito sa 2. So bali makakakuha tayo ng 26.56 and 116.56 degrees. So next naman is kunin natin yung principal stress natin, sigma 1 and sigma 2. So again, ang formula natin dito is combination lang ng average stress and maximum shear stress. So direct substitute lang yung mga given natin. So solving for sigma 1 and sigma 2, pwede natin itong i-simplify into 20 megapascal plus minus 50 megapascal. So sigma 1 natin is 70 MPa and sigma 2 is negative 30 MPa. And then, ito no, yung diagram natin kapag so again, no, ito yung magiging diagram natin no, kapag ginawin natin. Again, wala pa dito yung shear stress natin. So, kulang pa, no. Pinakita lang dito yung magiging itsura. So, ito, no, pwede nyo siya i-denote na sigma 1 or sigma 2. Pwede rin naman max or min. Wala namang problema doon. So next, ang hinahanap is yung tau max natin and average stress. So again, formula ng tau max natin is square root of sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. So directly substitution lang no, ang stress element natin. So solving for tau max, ang makukuha natin is 50 megapascal. So after natin makuha no, yung tau max, hanapin naman natin yung theta f mula sa theta p. Sabi naman doon sa previous slide natin, ang theta f is equal to theta p minus 45. So theta f is equal to 26.56 minus 45. So theta f natin is negative 18 and 17.56 degrees. So after natin makuha yung sigma f, i-solve naman natin yung average stress. So sigma x plus sigma y over 2, substitute lang natin yung mga given natin. So 50 minus 10 over 2, and then yung average stress natin is equal to 20 megapascal. So ito na yung magiging final na diagram naman natin for maximum shear stress. Kasi nga diba sabi natin, nag-a-act yung maximum shear stress natin doon sa plane kung nasaan yung average stress natin. So since yung average natin is positive, so parehas itong tensile. And then yung theta natin dito, so ito no, ang theta natin is negative 18.43 degrees. So ito dapat is theta f na correction lang. So next topic natin is Morse circle. So ito, no, ang theta natin is negative 18.43 degrees. So ito dapat is theta f na correct. Sigma natin o yung tau is positive. Ang plotting nito is sa baba, and kapag negative naman is sa taas. So kung makikita nyo dito, no, denoted as counterclockwise is nasa baba. Kasi nga counterclockwise positive tayo dito. And clockwise naman is nasa taas, means clockwise negative. So sabi kanina, di ba, is ginagamit itong Morse circle para makuha natin yung shear stress and principal stresses na hindi gumagamit na equation. Kasi pwede naman yun. Pwede tayo mag-estimate or pwede tayong gumamit ng mga geometric consideration. So for a known state of plane stress, sigma x, sigma y, tau xy. So plot the points xy and construct the circle at C. So ito, no, yung mga formulas natin. Kung titignan nyo, kung gusto nyo i-complete analytically, is gagamitin natin itong mga formula na to. Which is similar lang din naman to doon sa mga formulas natin kanina. Nirelate lang ito, no, pagdating dito sa Morse circle natin. So sigma average is sigma x plus sigma y over 2. And yung R natin is equal to square root of sigma x minus sigma y over 2 squared plus tau xy squared. Where yung principal stresses natin is makukuha natin at point A and B. So ito siya, no? Which is sigma average plus minus R. Isa pang important information na dapat yung tandaan is with regard sa angle. So angles in Morse circle are doubled compared to angle in stress element, due to the fact that there is 180 degrees angle between the minimum and maximum stress. Whereas in stress element, the angle is 90 degrees. So kaya dito, no, so kung makikita nyo, kapag ilalabas natin, no, yung angle na nakuha natin dito sa Morse circle natin, kapag ilalagay natin ito dun sa stress element natin, kailangan natin itong i-divide by 2. And kapag magpapasok naman tayo ng angle mula sa stress element papunta dito sa Morse circle, kailangan naman natin itong i-multiply by 2. So, okay, so example natin for Morse circle. So for the state of plane stress, using Morse circle, determine A, the principal plane, B, principal stresses, and C, the maximum shearing stress and average stress. So ito, no, yung given natin na stress element. So first step, syempre, drawing natin yung stress element and then given and required. So yung given and required natin is, for the given, meron tayong 50 megapascal na sigma x, sigma y of negative 10 megapascal, and tau xy of 40 megapascal. And then yung required natin is meron tayong theta p, sigma 1, sigma 2, tau max, and average stress. So first step natin dito is mag-locate muna tayo ng dalawang points. So saan natin kukunin yun? So kukunin natin yun dito sa x phase and y phase nung figure natin. So for the x phase, no, ang gagamitin natin dito is yung sigma as x coordinate and then yung tau natin as y coordinate. So for x phase, meron tayo ditong 50 megapascal and then yung tau natin is 40. And then yung y phase naman natin is meron tayong negative 10 as a sigma and negative 40 sa tau. So kaya naging negative 40 kasi yung sa y phase natin is kabaliktaran lang nung sign nung nasa x phase natin. So dito for demonstration, ang gagamitin ko is AutoCAD. Pero kapag magsasagot kayo ng mga activity natin, is magma-manual method kayo dito. Gamit yung drawing drawing materials na pinaprepare ko sa inyo. Okay, so ipa-plot na. Simulan natin dun sa x-phase coordinates natin. Okay, so first step natin dito is i-plot yung nasa points natin, yung sa x-phase and sa y-phase. So, para ma-determine muna natin yung points, no, gagawin ko is gagawa muna ako ng maliit na circle. So, i-locate ko lang siya dito. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, no, binaliktad ko yung sign yung sa y-coordinate natin. Dahil yun, di ba kasi nga ang orientation natin sa more circle is yung negative or yung positive natin na stress is nandito sa baba. And yung negative naman is nandito sa taas, whereas sa MAD AutoCAD is sumusunod ito doon sa Cartesian coordinate system natin. After nyo i-plot yung dalawang points na yon, isang next yung gagawin is pag-connect sila sa isa't isa. So mag-drawing lang kayo ng straight line mula doon sa dalawang points na yun. So, pwede ko na ngayon itong tanggalin. And then dito, no, sa pagkatapos nyo makagawa ng straight line, ang gagawin naman ninyo is hahanapin yung gitna nito. So, paano nyo hahanapin? So, pwede kayong gumamit ng equation of a distance. Pwede kayong gumamit ng solving for distance ng line. So, pwede naman ang gawin nyo is gamit yung ruler nyo is i-estimate nyo na lang. So, kagaya for example doon ng pag-estimate na dito sa AutoCAD kasi is nilolocate nyo na yung midpoint. So, once na nalocate nyo yung midpoint, is gagawa na kayo dito ng circle na yung diameter natin is yung dalawang point na pinag-in nyo. So, pagkatapos ng i-plot, no, kailangan nating labelan yung dalawang points na yun. So, dito, kung mapapansin ninyo, is meron na ako prepare na mga pang-label para mabilis na lang din dito sa natin, tutorial. So, ito naman, labelan lang natin yung second point. So, pagkatapos yung labelan, no, yung point na yan, is mahanap na natin dito yung principal stress. So, paano natin mahanap yung principal stress? So, alam naman natin, di ba, ang principal stress natin is nasa x-axis. So, dito, yung highest or maximum value natin pagdating dito sa x-axis is siya yung sigma 1 natin. And then, yung minimum value naman is siya yung sigma 2. So, pwede nyong gawin dyan, di ba, since kung nakapag-drawing cut na kayo, pwede nyong gamitin yung ruler ninyo para manually measure yung distance. So, dito sa AutoCAD, so gagawin ko lang is check lang natin yung dimension. So, dito is 70. So, ang sagot natin for sigma 1 is 70 megapascal. So, ito nga palang ano natin dito, no? For circle is in terms of megapascal. After natin makuha yung sigma 1, is i-locate na, kunin naman natin yung dimension or yung distance ng sigma 2. Ang pagkuha pala ng distance natin dito, ang reference point natin is yung origin and then yung second point. So dito naman is 30. Kaya lang, di ba, since nasa kaliwa siya nung coordinate system natin or coordinate plane, so negative dito pagdating sa x-axis, di ba? So kaya ang sigma 2 natin is negative 30 megapascal. So, di ba ang pinapahanap din is yung average stress. So ano naman yung average stress natin dito? So yung average stress natin is yung distance mula dito sa center ng circle ninyo papunta doon sa point of origin. So, gagawin nyo lang, i-measure nyo yung distance manually, pero sa AutoCAD is DLI. So, ang distance natin dito is 20. Kaya lang take note natin na kapag yung diameter naman ninyo is nandito sa kabilang side, no? Susundan natin yung sign convention kung nasaan ba siyang quadrant. So, limbawa, di ba dito sa quadrant 1, ang x natin is positive. Sa quadrant 4, ang x natin is positive. Sa quadrant 2, ang x natin is negative. And quadrant 3, ang x natin is negative. So, kaya dito yung average stress natin is 20. So, paano naman yung tau max? So, yung tau max naman natin dito, kung babalikan natin dito yung mga equations kanina na pinakita, sabi, yung tau max natin is yung highest na y value. So, kung yung highest na y value, no, kung galing tayo dito sa center, so pwede natin sabihin siya rin yung radius. So, gagawin ko lang dito is ipo-project ko lang, no, yung tau max natin mula dito sa midpoint and then papunta dito sa quadrant natin. And then, measure lang natin yung distance. So, ang distance natin is 50. So, again, kaya positive kasi baliktad ang orientation natin pagdating sa Mohr circle. And then, labelan nyo lang yung plot ninyo. So, ngayon, ang kulang na lang natin is yung data. So, paano natin kukunin yung data? So, dito, no, pwede nyo gamitin yung protractor nyo. Pero sa AutoCAD is remangular. So, kunin lang natin yung data. So, yung angle natin dito is 53 degrees. Kaya lang, di ba sabi kanina, kapag inilabas natin sa Mohr circle, pag nasa Mohr circle tayo, ang data natin is naka times 2. So, kailangan natin itong i-divide by 2. So, ang data natin dito is 53 over 2 or 26.5. Okay, so ngayon, no, nakuha na natin yung mga hinahanap na value. So, i-compare natin to doon sa mga na-compute nating value using equation method. Tignan natin kung meron ba tayong discrepancy. Ito yung nasa Mohr circle natin. And ito namang sagot na nandito sa kabila, is ito yung sagot using equation method. So kung makikita natin, no, parehas yung nakuha natin sigma 1 and sigma 2, tau max and average stress, ang pinagkaiba lang is dito sa theta natin. Whereas dito sa using AutoCAD or yung Mohr circle natin, no, 26.5 degrees yung nakuha ang sagot. Pero using equation method is 26.56501 degrees. So meron lang tayong discrepancy dito na 0.6501. So comparing these answers, no, napatunayan natin na parehas naman yung makukuha nating sagot kung gagamit tayo ng Mohr circle or equation method. And dyan natatapos yung lesson natin for Module 9. Thank you. Transformation. So sabi nga dito, di ba, we can relate string transformation formulas with stress transformation formulas by replacing. So ito na yung mga papalitan natin. So yung sigma x, papalitan lang natin ng epsilon x. Yung sigma y, gagawin natin epsilon y. And yung tau xy natin is gagawin natin gamma xy over 2. So, applying dyan, no, so ito yung magiging formula natin, no, sa strain transformation. So, sigma x prime is equals to, so applying yung changes, no, so ito yung magiging formulas natin. Epsilon x1 equals epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2 plus quantity epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 cosine 2 theta plus gamma xy over 2 sine 2 theta. Yung epsilon y prime naman natin is equal to epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2 minus epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 cosine 2 theta minus gamma xy over 2 times sine 2 theta. And yung gamma xy prime over 2 naman natin is equal to negative epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 times sine 2 theta plus gamma xy over 2 times cosine 2 theta. Okay, so take note lang, no, itong mga formula na ito ay gagamitin lang natin kapag ang pinahahanap is yung equivalent strain given an angle theta rotation. So, paano naman pagdating sa principal strain and maximum shear strain? So, yung mga formulas natin is parehas lang din naman, no? So, papalitan lang talaga natin yung mga inputs natin. So, for average strain, meron tayong epsilon average is equal to epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2. For the orientation of principal planes, meron tayong tan 2 theta p is equal to gamma xy over epsilon x minus epsilon y. Yung principal strains naman natin is epsilon 1 or 2 is equal to epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2 plus minus square root of epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 quantity squared plus gamma xy over 2 quantity squared. Maximum shear strain natin is gamma x over 2 is equals to square root of epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 quantity squared plus gamma xy over 2 quantity squared. And lastly, orientation of maximum shear strength, orientation of maximum shear strains. So tan 2 theta s is equals to negative epsilon x minus epsilon y divided by gamma xy. So, i-apply natin, no, sa problem para mas maintindihan natin. So, sabi dito, the state of plane strain at a point has a components of epsilon x is equals to 250 times 10 raised to negative 6. Epsilon y is equal to negative 150 times 10 raised to negative 6. And gamma xy is equal to 120 times 10 raised to negative 6. So, determine the principal strain, average strain, and orientation of the element upon which they act. So, ito na yung mga given natin. So, given tayo epsilon x, epsilon y, and then gamma xy. And then, ang pinapahanap sa atin is yung principal data, epsilon 1, epsilon 2, gamma xy max, and average strain. So, ito yung formula natin, no? So, direct input lang naman ito dun sa formula natin. So, tan 2 theta p is equal to gamma xy over epsilon x minus epsilon y. And then, direct input lang tayo dito. Ang makukuha nating value is tan 2 theta p is equal to 0.3. Arctangent function, so 2 theta p is equals to 16.69924 degrees. And then, divided by 2, solving for theta p, ang theta p natin is 8.34962 degrees. 8.34962 degrees. And then next naman is yung principal strain natin. So again, meron na tayong formula, direct substitution. So epsilon 1 and 2 is equal to epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2 plus minus square root of quantity xy, epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 squared plus gamma xy squared, gamma xy over 2 squared. So ito, no, naka-quantity dapat ito, no, hindi lang itong gamma xy yung naka-squared natin. So kasama rin itong 2. And then simplifying natin, no, input natin yung mga values. And then simplifying, makukuha natin epsilon 1 and 2 is equals to 50 times 10 raised to negative 6 plus minus square root of 4.36 times 10 raised to negative 8. So, epsilon 1 natin is equal to, so yung epsilon 1, di ba siya yung maximum natin, so positive, 2.588 0.06 times 10 raised to negative 4. Or kapag ginawa ko siyang times 10 raised to negative 6, ito yung magiging value natin, 258.80613 times 10 raised to negative 6. And then yung epsilon 2 naman is 50 times 10 raised to negative 6 minus itong square root value natin. So epsilon 2 is equal to negative 1.58806 times 10 raised to negative 4. And kapag naka-times 10 raised to negative 6 naman is 1.58 or 158.80613 times 10 raised to negative 6. So kung napapansin nyo na 5 decimal places yung sagot natin. So yung gamma max over 2 natin is equal to square root of epsilon x minus epsilon y over 2 squared plus gamma xy squared over 2. So solving for gamma max, so makakuha tayo ng gamma max over 2 is equal to square root of 4.36 times 10 raised to negative 8. So gamma xy max natin is 4.17 times 10 raised to negative 4 or 417.61 times 10 raised to negative 6. So solving for average strain, so epsilon x plus epsilon y over 2. So epsilon average natin is 50 times 10 raised to negative 6. So para makagawad tayo ng more circle, di ba? First step natin is mag-plot ng 2 points. So ano yung 2 points na yun? So ito siya, di ba? So yung una, yung epsilon natin is 0.1 at 250. So dito no, kaya naging ganito, hindi ko sinama yung times 10 raised to negative 6. Kasi yung naging x-axis ko din is in terms of epsilon times 10 raised to negative 6. So kaya naging 250 and negative 150 na lang to. And kagaya ng sa stress natin, no, yung isa is opposite lang nung isang value natin. So dito, kung napansin nyo, di ba 60? Bakit? Kasi nga di ba sabi ko, ang axis natin doon is gamma xy. Okay, so hindi ko na ipapakita dito kung paano siya ipa-plot sa more circle natin. Ipapakita ko na lang sa inyo yung itsura ng more circle. Kasi di ba same steps lang naman to doon sa stress transformation natin, na iba lang siya ng mga axes and inputs. Okay, so for shear strain using more circle, same lang naman to ng steps doon sa more circle natin, no, for stress transformation. So dito no, i-plot lang natin again yung points natin, no, yung sa face natin, sa x face and sa y face. So ito yun, 250, 60, and then negative 150 and negative 60. So next na gagawin natin is connect natin yung dalawang points na yon, and then mag-create tayo ng circle. Okay, kung saan mag-cross yung circle natin, no, dun sa x-axis, yung pinakamalaking value, siya yung epsilon 1 natin or maximum strain. And then yung minimum strain naman natin is yung mas maliit na value. So ito no, sa case na to is negative 158.81 micro. So ito no, kaya pala micro yung ginamit natin kasi yung axis natin dito is in terms of epsilon natin and then gamma over 2. And in terms din ito ng micro or times 10 raised to negative 6. So after nun, no, kung ano naman yung radius natin, is siya yung value natin for maximum strain. Maximum shear strain. Pero siya ba yung magiging sagot natin? Hindi. Bakit? Kasi nga yung axis natin dito is gamma over 2 lang. So dito lalabas is 0.5 y max or 0.5 gamma max is equal to 208.81 micro. So kapag kukunin natin, no, kapag inilabas na natin yung value, so dapat ang gagamitin natin na value dyan is 208.81 times 2, or ang maximum shear strain natin is 417.62 times 10 raised to negative 6. And then, yung theta natin, alam naman natin, no, ang theta na nakukuha natin dito, kapag ilalabas natin, no, mula sa more circle is divided by 2. Kaya, dito i-measure nyo lang yung angle gamit yung protractor nyo. So, 17 degrees ang lumabas, divided by 2. Yung theta natin is 8.5 degrees. Okay, so ngayon na ipag-compare natin yung sagot sa Mohr circle and sa ano natin, sa equation method. So ito nandito sa kaliwa is itong mga sagot natin sa equation method. And dito naman sa kanan is yung sagot natin no, for Mohr circle. So kung makikita ninyo na meron man tayong discrepancy is napakaliit lang. So punta tayo sa next topic natin. Material property relationship. So sabi dito, when a homogeneous isotropic material is subjected to a state of dry axial stress, the strain in each direction is influenced by the strains produced by all the stresses. This is the result of the Poisson's effect, and the stress is then related to the strain in the form of a generalized Hooke's law. So ito no, yung formula natin dito. So epsilon x is equals to 1 over E times sigma x minus B times sigma y plus sigma z. And then yung sigma epsilon y naman natin is equal to 1 over E times sigma y minus B times sigma x plus sigma z. And then yung epsilon z naman natin is 1 over E times quantity sigma z minus B times quantity sigma x plus sigma y. And then, when a shear stress is applied to a homogeneous isotropic material, it will only produce shear strain in the same plane. Therefore, Hooke's law for shear stress and shear strain becomes, so gamma xy is equals to 1 over g times tau xy. Gamma yz is equals to 1 over g raised to tau yz, and gamma yxz is equals to 1 over g raised to tau xz. So the constants E, G, and B are all related by G is equal to E divided by 2 plus 2 times quantity 1 plus B. And then, when an elastic material is subjected to normal stress, the strain that are produced will cause its volume to change. The change in volume per unit is called the volumetric strain, or the dilation E. Using Hooke's law, the dilation can be expressed in terms of the applied stress by, so E is equals to 1 minus 2V over E times quantity sigma 1 plus sigma 2 plus sigma 3. And then the bulk modulus is a measure of stiffness of a volume of material has the same units as stress and is symbolized by the letter K. So that K is equals to E over 3 times 1 minus 2V. For most metals, V is approximately equals to 1/3, and so K is approximately equals to E. However, if we assume the material did not change its volume when loaded, then delta V is equal to E, is equal to dilation E is, or equal to 0. And K would be infinite. As a result, the bulk modulus would then indicate the theoretical maximum value for Poisson's ratio to be B is equal to 0.05.
Grammarly has become such a lifesaver for me when writing papers because it's essentially like a digital writing assistant. Once you download it as a browser extension, it can provide writing feedback in real time. It has a word count feature to make sure you're meeting your paper requirements, and it allows you to set goals so you can customize your paper based on your audience. Upgrading to Grammarly Premium was one of the best decisions I've made. I write all my papers on Google Docs, so with Grammarly Premium, you can just
So para mas maintindihan natin no, yung mga formulas na yon, i-apply natin sa sample problem. So yung mga formulas na yun, kung matatanda, yung E, yung index form loading shown in the figure, and B is equal, before the load is up, B sub CU is equals to 0.34. So ito yung figure natin, no? So ito na rin no, yung magiging free body diagram na for this problem. Kailangan nyo lang i-draw yung figure natin. And then, siyempre, given and required. So, given sa atin, no, given tayo ng LA is equal to 300 mm or 0.3 meters. L sub B natin, 50 mm or 0.05 meters. Yung thickness natin, so 20 mm is equal or 0.02 meters. And yung Young's modulus natin ng copper is 120 gigapascal. So, given din tayo ng V ng copper natin na 0.34. Sigma X, no? So, ito yung sigma X natin. So, tensile. So, positive. So, 800 MPa. Sigma Y natin, no? Compressive. So, negative. Sigma Z, wala naman tayong given. And wala rin naman tayong given na tau XY. So, ano yung pinahanap? Ang pinahanap sa atin is LA prime, LB prime, and T prime. So, gagamitin natin no, yung isa dun sa mga formulang binigay. So, epsilon sub x is equal to sigma x over E minus V over E times sigma y plus sigma z. So, direct input lang tayo dito ng mga given natin. So, 800 times 10 raised to 6 Pascal divided by 120 times 10 raised to 9 Pascal minus 0.34 divided by 120 times 10 raised to 9 Pascal times quantity negative 500 times 10 raised to 6 Pascal. Makukuha natin na yung strain at X natin na 8.0833 times 10 raised to negative 3. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito, no, kinonvert ko muna ito into Pascal. So, MPa natin and gigapascal. And then, solving tayo, no, for yung sa elongation, yung change in length natin, or yung new length natin, yung LA prime. So, apply lang natin yung formula for strain na strain is equal to the change in length divided by original length. So, yung change in length natin is ito yung formula. LA prime minus LA divided by LA. So, isolate lang natin na sa isang side yung LA prime. So, magiging formula natin is epsilon x times LA plus LA. And then, input lang natin yung nakuhang value and then yung given. So, yung LA prime natin is 0.302425 meters. So, same steps ang gagawin natin for epsilon y. So, direct input lang tayo ng given. So, solving for epsilon y, ang makukuha natin dito is negative 6.433 times 10 raised to negative 3. And then, kapag nakuha na natin yung epsilon y, kailangan naman natin kunin no, yung change, yung new length niya sa B or yung B prime natin. So, epsilon y is equal to LB prime minus LB divided by LB. So, isolate lang natin no, yung LB prime dito sa isang side. So, makakuha natin na epsilon y times LB plus LB. And then, direct substitute tayo ng mga values. So, yung LB prime natin is equal to 0.04968 meters. So, dito pala, no, yung ibig sabihin lang ng negative natin, ang nangyari sa kanya is kinompress siya instead of inelongate. So, kaya ano, kung mapapansin nyo dito, no, yung new length natin is lumiit siya. From 0.05 meters, naging 0.04968 meters na siya. And then, yung last naman is yung sa epsilon z. So, ito yung formula natin. And then, direct substitution lang tayo ng mga given. Solving for epsilon z, yung makukuha natin is 8.5 times 10 raised to negative 4. So, dito na yung thickness natin, siya yung naging z parameter natin. Kasi di ba siya yung third dimension natin? Yung thickness. So, epsilon z is equals to LT prime minus LT divided by LT. And then, isolate natin yung LT prime sa isang side. So, epsilon z times LT plus LT is equal to LT prime. And then, direct substitution ng mga values. So, solving for LT prime, ang makukuha natin is 0.02 meters. So kung napapansin nyo dito, no, ginawa ko ng 6 decimal place, no, kasi ito naman mismo yung sagot na lalabas sa kanya. Pero kung pwede nyo gawin na 5 decimal place, okay lang din naman yun. Wala tayong kaso doon. Okay, so dyan nag-e-end, no, yung discussion natin for strain transformation. So ito na rin yung end nung discussion natin, no, for the midterm. So mag-prepare na lang kayo for the quiz and midterm exam. Yung quiz natin, again, is either Wednesday or Thursday, depende sa schedule nyo sa akin. So yun lang, and then salamat.